Hi and welcome to another episode of Toby's Barbecue Corner. Now, what is usually one item that gets totally forgotten when we talk about barbecue? Exactly, the sides. So today we're going to take care of one popular side. Now what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we need for today. Now obviously we need the main ingredient, and that is potatoes. We need a spring onion, we need salt, pepper, milk, cream, a clove of garlic, some cheese and some butter. Now for the ones following my channel, you know that I can't go without meat, so as a side to our side we'll be smoking those two lovely beef loin ribs. They look absolutely amazing. I got them at a butcher where I bought it online. It's called Der Ludwig. So very nice stuff. We're going to go very traditional on it, so we're going to be rubbing it with Ankerkraut. We're going to be using mustard as a binding agent. We're going to be smoking them for 2 hours in my Kamado. Then we're going to braise them for 2 hours, and we're going to be using some sugar as well as honey for it. And then in the last hour we're just going to glaze them a little bit. As you might know it from previous videos, very simple. You put the mustard down, you spread it all around. So just use your fingers. Now I didn't do much with them, just simply because they were trimmed already quite nicely, so no need to go overboard on it and trim off anything that you would want to eat later on. Alright, so make sure you got it from both sides. And then quite liberally we are going to apply our dry rub, and then they can already go on the smoker. Whilst the beef ribs are smoking away, let's take care of the first part of our potato gratin. So what we need is, we need a bowl, and then we're just going to add the cream into it, the milk, the garlic. We're not going to chop this time, but we're just going to press it through this press. And that should already do it. A pinch of salt, a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. And then there's two things that I forgot to mention. One is cayenne pepper. I like to put that in there just because it adds a little bit of spice as well as a little bit of color. And muscat. And then we're going to give that a quick whisk, make sure everything mixes nicely, and then we're going to set it to the side, and we're going to take care of our potatoes. Right, in the next step, let's take care of our potatoes. So all you want to do is you want to cut them into thin little slices. Now obviously, yes, you can use a kitchen machine. I don't have one of those. I think I said that in a previous video, so I'm just going to do it by hand. But obviously, that way you can really decide how thick or thin you want your slices to be. Right, the ribs were in the Kamado for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So as I said, we're quickly going to put them in the butcher's paper, and I'm using butcher's paper as well as aluminum foil. I prefer it that way. Simply, you keep your barbecue clean, as well as just in case the rib bones puncture the butcher's paper, there's still something else to capture all those lovely juices. So what we're going to do is we're going to put down a first layer of honey as well as sugar. Then we're going to put the rib on, and just check this out, how lovely that is. And look, the bones are already starting to separate. So we're going to put it meat side down, and then we're going to add some more honey as well as sugar on the top. and back on they go for another 2 hours. Now it's time to take care of our potatoes. So what you want to do is you take a stick of butter and make sure that you rub it into your cast iron skillet or pan or whatever you're using, just to make sure obviously that the potatoes don't stick in the end onto the vessel that they're in. So just be thorough, you know, all the way around. It won't hurt. Just like that. When this is done, let's layer in the potatoes. Now obviously you can just drop them in as well, but I don't know, I just like doing it this way. And then last but not least, let's pour the milk, cream and seasoning mix right on top. And then it's gonna go on the barbecue in the indirect setting at about 180 degrees for 30 minutes. One final step though, obviously we will need our cheese, so I already sprinkled the cheese on top, and now we're actually ready for the barbecue. The barbecue sits at 180 degrees, and I've created an indirect zone, so on it goes for half an hour. 2 hours are up, and look at this result already. Look how juicy they look. So I've just whipped up a quick barbecue sauce with a little bit of Jim Beam. So we're now going to baste it, and it goes back on the smoker for another half an hour, and then we're going to baste it again, and then we're ready to eat. Alright guys, the sides are ready, and now we're going to move on to the main star of today's event. And there we go guys, this is the main star of today's show, our potato gratin, and I think it worked out really nicely. Now obviously with the cream and the milk you can see that it bubbled a bit over, but that doesn't matter. The cheese has a nice crust, and now we're going to add our chives to it. Alright guys, and there you go, our potato gratin with a side of beef ribs, and we're gonna dig in now. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video about the sides with a side of ribs. So yeah, it was super delicious. Now as a word of warning, if you want to pre-cook your potatoes first, you're more than welcome to. Then the cooking time with half an hour is absolutely correct. Now with mine, it did actually in fact take 45 minutes just because I used them raw and I put them straight in the cast iron skillet. So just as a word of warning or advice, so if you want to pre-cook your potatoes after you cut them, that's perfectly fine too. It just shortens the period that they're in with the milk and the cream, etc, etc. Now nevertheless, it was super delicious. The ribs really came out great too. They looked a bit dark, but don't worry, there was all just the sugar that caramelized, so it was very delicious. Now if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up, and please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come, and I hope to see you soon again at Toby's Barbecue Corner.